Hello, everyone, and welcome to Full Time, where we take you around the world of soccer, locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. The Full Time podcast is presented and powered by 91 Network. You're listening to Season 6, Episode 2 of Full Time. I'm your host, Daniel Scarpino, and with me is our co-host, Gitano Gallo. Before we begin today's show, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. The Full-Time Podcast is sponsored by Little Caesars Pizza. With their 2 locations in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, you can download and access the Pizza Portal app so you can enjoy a delicious hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars today. The Full-Time Podcast is also sponsored by Sioux Sports. To check out Sioux Sports and all of their articles, announcements, and streaming platforms, including True Host Media and True North Radio, visit siouxsports.com as well as Sioux Sports TV on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We remind our listeners that recordings of Full Time occur weekly or bi-weekly, and uploads to all of our platforms for public viewing and listening occur weekly or bi-weekly as well. Folks, it is a pleasure to be with you here on the Full Time Podcast. We hope that you are all doing well. G, how are you tonight, my friend?
I am good, Scarps. Got the AC running. Stopped at Canadian Tire, picked up a couple more fans for the house. It has been hot, but we are chilling. How about you?
We're chilling indeed, and we're not complaining about the hot weather. We want to make that very clear because we've endured the most hectic of winters. But I, my friend, just like you, am doing very, very well. In today's show, we will discuss the summer transfer window, the Club World Cup, and the Gold Cup. As always, if anyone would like to listen to our previous content, please check us out at Full Time on all platforms of 91 Network. And without further ado, Gitano, and to everyone who has taken the time to tune in here today, let's kick off. We get today's show started with some news in the world of football. French side Lyon have been relegated to Ligue 2 after financial regulations have been breached. The following story comes from MSN.com. The article starts with, quote, 7-time French champions Lyon have been relegated to second-tier French football because of ongoing financial irregularities. The decision followed an audit of the club's finances by the French league soccer watchdog known as DNCG. French sports daily L'Equipe estimated Lyon's current debt at 175 million euros, which is equivalent to $203 million. Lyon is expected to appeal the decision. The club called it an incomprehensible decision and said it will immediately file an appeal. Lyon is owned by American businessman John Textor, who has stakes in Brazil's Botafogo and Premier League team Crystal Palace. Lyon said its appeal will establish our substantial cash resources as necessary to stay in Ligue 1. End quote. Gitano, it's a big splash of news in the world of football here. The floor is yours.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. For the magnitude of the news, the fact that this was kept completely quiet until it dropped today is honestly astonishing. Like, Fabrizio had nothing. Like, none of the insiders had anything, which is insane. But yeah, it was completely shocking. I thought it was like some sort of like meme page posting it at first, but like when I saw all kind of the Sky Sports and the BT Sports all kind of reposting, I was like, oh man, like this is like legit. It's insane. They're basically the second biggest club in France behind PSG, and to see them relegated for these financial irregularities is wild. It's also wild that they're getting relegated for financial irregularities of around 200 million euros in debt ish. When you look at a club like Manchester United that are quite literally billions in debt, and the Premier League is doing everything they can to protect them and keep them in the league, it's just astonishing to see the difference and kind of how the two leagues look at that. But yeah, I would expect the appeal will be launched. If it hasn't already been launched, it will be launched soon. I don't know how this is going to play out, Scarps. Like, the appeal process is not going to be quick by any means. The season starts in, 8-ish weeks?
Yep.
So I'm interested to see how the whole scenario plays out. Do they, stay in Ligue 1 until the appeal process is done? Do they start the season... Like, what happens if they start the season in Ligue 2 their appeal is successful. Like what happens to the season? So I'm interested to see how it all plays out. As a neutral, it's going to be a quite fascinating watch. I haven't seen anything. Well, I mean, the football world really hasn't seen anything like this since Juventus got relegated in '06. But even then, the appeal for that was kind of useless, given
null and void.
given the scale of the widespread match fixing involved there. But I'm really curious to see how this all plays out.
Me too, and the thing that piques my curiosity, the difference between League 1 and League 2, what happens for European football? Because they're in the Europa League again, and I know there's question marks around Crystal Palace because you can't have two teams in the same competition having the same ownership and things like this.
Well, you can, but you have to be very, because City and Girona was the same thing. They had to
Yes,
sell certain percentages. It's complicated.
It's very complicated, but I'm interested amongst all of that to see what happens with the European stakes because, again, I think that there's a lot on the line, not just domestically, but in Europe too. So, like you said, it's very fascinating. I think it's probably better for French football and all of football if Lyon stays in Ligue 1, but obviously time's going to tell as to what happens with the situation. And as this story develops, we will endeavor to keep you all informed along with all other news in the world of football. Let's move things along to the summer transfer window. The following transfer market news comes from The Guardian, so be sure to check them out as they provide up-to-the-minute transfer market information in the world of football. First is Florian Wirtz, who goes from Bayer Leverkusen to Liverpool for a fee of $116 million. The attacking midfielder at age 22 cost a club record $100 million fee, which could rise to $116 million with add-ons, making him the most expensive British transfer in history. The deal is sealed for Wirtz and Liverpool. How big of a deal could this turn out to be on the pitch?
I think it has the potential to be really like a game changer for Liverpool. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little jealous. For the fee that they paid, I think it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. That's a lot of money. How many kind of £100 million plus players have we seen actually turn out those results? Very few. I think he's going to be a fantastic player, regardless of that. Whatever fee Liverpool paid for him, he's going to be a fantastic player. That's really all there is. They paid a whole lot of money for a really good young player. Yeah,
I'm highly jealous myself because as soon as that deal went through, I said, Liverpool just strengthened their team tenfold, and they've also made some other deals that we talked about on our show, and that team just continues to get better and better. So I think that this bolsters their side in more ways than one, and I think that it's a scary look for other teams, and it probably is going to give teams an incentive now to really push a little bit harder this summer in the transfer window because you got to keep pace with the likes of Liverpool and obviously the work that your Manchester City has done as well, but definitely a really good move for Liverpool. Charalampos Kostelas goes from Olympiacos to Brighton for $29.8 million. The Greece U21 international joins on a 5-year deal. In a press conference, Brighton's manager said, quote, "I am excited about what he can bring to the team," end quote. What can we expect from this young attacking talent who will now be playing in the Premier League?
Yeah, this is a funny one because the profile, 18-year-old Greek player, goes to Brighton, kind of in your head, you're like, oh, that's a £3 or £4 million move that turns into a £20 or £30 million sale a couple years later. But to see Brighton pay almost $30 million for him, I think for them it's kind of I don't want to say it's a change in their business model and how they do things, but it's a slight alteration. But I look at it whereas, if he comes and is okay, if he's just a totally fine player, okay, you paid 30 odd million for him. In today's market, that's not a crazy amount. But if he goes on and kind of becomes a lot better than that, they're still going to be able to sell him for 50, 60 and make a massive profit on him. So, unless he flops miserably, I think this is win-win for Brighton.
And if he does turn out to be that player, to your point, and they do sell him for 50 or 60 million, that would just be the most Brighton thing ever, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even when they pay 30 million for an 18-year-old, they're still going to make a profit when they sell him.
I fully agree with that. So, young talent coming through, paid again, in today's market, it's not that hefty of a chunk of money, but obviously Brighton have a lot of belief in the player, and I think that he will come good. Estevao goes from Palmeiras to Chelsea for $28.6 million. The sought-after creative talent would join up with the club after agreeing to the move for an initial $34 million last year. Gitano, break this one down for us.
Yeah, I mean, because Chelsea just needed more right wingers. Absolutely, that's just the one position in their entire squad that they're lacking. But no, it's very much a move for the future. It's not something that's going to be. He's not going to join the first team right away. I would bet money that he stays probably on loan at Palmeiras or somewhere in Brazil for at least another year or two until Chelsea clears some of the deadwood out of that squad. But from everything that we've seen from him, kind of up to this point, he's looked like a pretty. I don't want to be mean when I say that. He looks like the standard, like, exciting Brazilian attacking prospect, if you know what I mean. Like, he fits the mold pretty well. So obviously, whether he'll that kind of transition to Europe will work for him is yet to be seen. But looks like a promising future for him for sure.
Yeah, the future is definitely promising for him. Could be for Chelsea, but like you said, got to clear out quite a bit in order to get him in, because it's not a side that you can just, mosey your way on into. There's just too many players that are there, particularly on the right and left side of the front three, or the right and left side of midfield. And Gitano, we did not cover each and every transfer that has occurred so far during the summer transfer window. Are there any that we missed that have caught your eye as of recent?
So I've got two. So one's not quite confirmed yet, as far as I can tell, but from pretty much every report you can read, Edin Dzeko is going to sign for Fiorentina.
Yep.
Just cult hero at Man City. Love him to bits. And just as wild, at 39 years old, going back to the Serie A, where he's probably still going to bang like 20 goals a season, because that's just what he's done his entire career. Super underrated. Love him to bits and love to see him back in kind of a top 5 European league. And then also Jade Rose, the Canadian centre back, signed for Manchester City women's team from Harvard University on a 4-year deal. So we haven't had a Canadian to cheer for at Man City since Janine Becky left. So I'm personally super very excited for it, but also fantastic for Man City, having lost a couple of centre backs this summer, to bring in someone only 22 years old too. Like, plenty of room for her to kind of grow into that squad. So yeah, it's a super exciting transfer there.
Two moves that are near and dear to your heart, and two exciting moves nonetheless. But yeah, the Dzeko move certainly entertained me when I saw that, because I'm thinking to myself, the guy's almost 40, but you just know that he's going to be scoring goals in Serie A, and he'll be a player to watch. So that one was definitely a cool move. As the summer transfer window progresses, you can get all of your major updates right here on Full Time. Moving along, it's the Club World Cup that has a large majority of the world of football, and their eyes on it. Gee, the group stage isn't quite done yet, but have you been entertained so far?
I'm more entertained than I thought I would be. I thought kind of the initial, because we very rarely see like European clubs and South American clubs and North American clubs all playing against each other. So I thought kind of, the first couple rounds of games might be a little fun, but then the excitement would wear off because it's preseason or postseason, kind of depends how you look at it.
Right.
But like a lot of I can't say all teams, but I think most of the teams have been they've been going pretty hard. They've been trying to win these games and trying to win this tournament. So the stakes have been raised a lot higher than I thought they would be. So yeah, it's been super exciting.
No doubt. And yeah, like you said, I'm probably more excited myself than I actually thought it was going to be. Some of the, sort of dead results, if you like, from that sort of first round of fixtures. But then after, there were some upsets. There were some unexpected results. Atletico Madrid are bounced, these sorts of things. So, and actually, to your point, you said that they probably wouldn't take it so serious, and they didn't. But yeah, so I've been entertained. I wouldn't say completely, but it has been good. I will say that. And whilst the group stage Gitano isn't quite done yet, which teams have impressed you most?
It's less specific teams, but more just like all of the Brazilian teams have looked so good. So yeah, Fluminense are on top of their group. Flamengo's on top of their group. Botafogo's second in their group. Palmeiras is top of their group. And obviously there's still one more round of group games to be played for a couple of these teams. But there's just that kind of always natural European top tier football is just a level above South American and Brazilian football. And yes, this is postseason, preseason, whatever you want to call it, but you really see that the level that these teams are playing at and that they are on, the gap is a lot smaller, if there even is one at this point. I thought they would be fine. I thought a couple of the teams, I thought River Plate, who are Argentinian, but top of their group as well. Like I figured they're one of the bigger teams in South America. I figured they'd be doing well. But to see just the quality across the tournament from the South American teams has just been it's been incredible. I really was not expecting it.
Yeah, me neither necessarily. But what I will say that beyond the group stage, what I'm going to be most pleased with is once it gets to knockout football, I think all these teams are going to say, okay, let's put this into perspective. We're competing for a trophy. We could put something in our cabinet. And I think that the level of seriousness is all going to increase. So I'm really excited for the round of 16, Gitano, and once the group stage wraps up here in a few short days. And the group stage, in fact, will wrap up this week. Gitano and the round of 16 is going to commence this weekend. And in our next episode of Full Time next week, we will provide an update as to which teams have advanced from the group stage to knockout football. And again, the stakes will ultimately be very high. The Gold Cup is another cup competition that all fans of CONCACAF have their eyes on, including both of us right here at Full Time. The group stage finishes tonight, and the quarterfinals won't be too far from now as well. How have you enjoyed the competition so far, sir?
It's been good. It's been less CONCACAF-y than previous years, I felt, which is a nice change of pace. It feels like an actual organized professional football tournament for the most part. For the most part, I can't give CONCACAF too much credit, but yeah, it's been pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, the empty stadiums are still something that are throwing me off. I just had a grad dinner tonight, and we watched the first half of the Panama-Jamaica game, and a lot of empty seats. So it kind of feels like COVID-esque. But beyond that, I also have enjoyed the football that's been played, and it's been, for the most part, entertaining. And in each group, the way that things stand are as follows. Group A will see Mexico and Costa Rica go through. As it stands right now in Group B, Canada and Honduras will go through, barring any final day drama in group play this evening. In Group C, as things stand at the time of recording, Panama and Guatemala are going through, with Jamaica looking at being upset and out the door. And in Group D, it's the United States and Saudi Arabia, going through. Gee, if things stay exactly as they are, your picks will be at 5 out of 8. Mine will be at 6 out of 8. So not too shabby. Regardless of this, however, again, we have to see what unfolds tonight. What can you say for the group stage?
Less unpredictable than we thought, but also we got a lot of predictable things wrong. So it's been a good blend, I feel, in terms of the results and the teams going through. Obviously disappointed with the states and their actually kind of good performances, but what can you do? You can't win them all.
You can't win them all, and that's how these tournaments go. There's got to be at least something to upset you once, if not twice, if not more. But regardless of that, Gitano, the quarterfinals are set to go this weekend, and in our next episode of Full Time, again next week, we will review the outcomes, and we will also highlight who is moving on to the semifinals. This is Daniel Scarpino and Gitano Gallo, and you are listening to the Full Time Podcast on 91 Network. A reminder that Full Time is sponsored by Little Caesars Pizza and Sioux Sports. Check out the Pizza Portal app for a quicker, easier way to get your next hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. And be sure to check out Sioux Sports at siouxsports.com and Sioux Sports TV on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Full Time. As we bring today's show to a close, we want to extend our thanks to all of you for being with us. Your support is always appreciated. Gee, great work tonight, sir. Short and sweet, but we got it done.
Absolutely. And, with the weather, as much as I love talking to you, it's nice and short and sweet. Get back outside, enjoy the weather. And also, I forgot to mention this when we were doing Club World Cup, but shout out Seattle Sounders getting absolutely crushed all of their games. Love that for them.
Love that for them. That's brilliant. A reminder to our listeners that the next episode of Full Time will be recorded the week of June 30th, 2025. In that show, we'll take a look at the Club World Cup, the Gold Cup, and the summer transfer market. As always, we'll keep everyone in the loop with all of the happenings in the world of football. For weekly content, make sure to hit like, follow, and subscribe to all platforms of 91 Network on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Podbean, and Spaces at SiouxToday.com. For Gitano Gallo, my name is Daniel Scarpino, and thank you for tuning in to Full Time. We look forward to seeing you at kickoff next time back here on the Full Time Podcast and 91 Network. Best always.